Often, obvious dangers, like avoiding a dark basement, aren't obvious to the victims. Unlike the viewers, people in the crisis center don't see the whole inevitable picture. Something similar arose on a bitter, frosty morning in a city people try not to speak about. The air was unnaturally still, and the silence felt like a heavy, suffocating blanket. Victoria, 23, felt too tall and thick-set at 169 centimeters and 58 kilograms. Obsessed with losing weight, she drove her Honda to a reclusive trainer in a neighboring city, believing this was the start of a perfect life. The road was difficult due to deep snow and the suffocating silence of the dense evergreen forest. Due to a broken heater, the cold was bitter and the windows fogged constantly, forcing her to drive with maximum caution. Suddenly, a distinct knock, a violent impact, shook the car, as if she had struck something solid and yielding beneath the snow. Victoria panicked and slammed the brakes. She got out immediately to inspect the road. "Oh hell, this is just what I needed," she thought. She quickly ran to the spot where a dark object lay. Everything inside her went cold. It was a small bundle that looked shockingly like an infant. She turned it over, horrified to find a sack crudely sewn and grotesquely stuffed with organs and bones. It stank terribly of decay and chemical rot. Recoiling from the vile object, she stumbled backward and bumped hard into something massive. She whirled around, realizing the profound terror. Before her stood a colossal man, 7.5 feet tall, with 2 fused, asymmetrical heads and 3 lidless eyes. His skin was pale and waxy, covered in a festering rash and weeping pustules. In his huge hand, he held a thick, yellowed human shin bone like a club. He struck her viciously on the head, then violently kicked her legs, shattering her balance, causing her vision to blur as her eyes filled quickly with her own warm blood. Victoria woke to the blinding pain. Her head pulsed with agony and her legs ached. She was being dragged along the frozen, unforgiving earth. Her mouth was bound tightly with a foul, moldy rag, choking her screams. The relentless, icy cold pierced her body, stealing her remaining warmth. Through the congealing blood and tears of despair, she saw only the monster's huge, diseased legs hauling her like a useless, discarded bag of garbage. Her hands were tightly bound, and any attempt at resistance only led to sharper, stinging pain. In this moment of absolute, crushing horror, her thoughts absurdly returned to her former weight loss obsession. What a senseless, fragile problem. Her entire world narrowed to a single, primal desire: to simply survive, to escape. She understood that obvious mistakes are only visible from a distance. In the terrifying epicenter, there exists only blind, paralyzing terror. The dragging stopped. A strange, rasping, double breath sounded above her, carrying the sickening, heavy smell of rot and raw blood. The monster slowly leaned down. Victoria felt his hot, purulent breath on her cheek. He picked her up with chilling ease. His third eye stared blankly at her before he savagely hurled her down into an unseen abyss. She fell hard, landing on something terrifyingly soft, wet, and slippery, and rolled across a rocky floor. The air hit her like a physical blow. It was a cold, damp cellar, the atmosphere thick with the unbearable stench of decomposition. She gagged repeatedly, trying to expel the putrid air from her lungs. A narrow strip of feeble, fading light was visible as the heavy trapdoor above began to grind shut. Struggling against the gag, Victoria forced her eyes open. As they adjusted, she saw the undeniable source of the stench: dismembered, partially devoured carcasses, human and animal, lining the walls. She realized with final certainty that the sack of organs she had run over was merely deliberate and calculated bait. A loud, final, grinding, and desperate scraping of wood against stone rang out from above, and the heavy, thick cellar doors slammed shut with a terrible, booming finality. Absolute, impenetrable darkness set in, thick and smothering, pressing against her eyes and stealing all hope. Victoria was seized by an uncontrollable, silent, hysterical convulsion. She couldn't scream, but she felt something cold, slow, wet, and sinuous crawl along her foot. Something utterly foreign, disgusting, and terrifyingly actively alive. She was definitively not alone. And somewhere in the crushing, reeking depths of this tomb, amidst the scattered bones, filth, and pus, her inevitable fate awaited her, delivered and trapped within the silent, forbidden city about which people try not to speak.